In almost every area of life, we operate on a simple equation. Time plus effort equals a reward. You want a degree? You study for 4 years. You want to build a business? You put in the hours. It makes perfect sense in the physical world. But we carry that exact same transactional logic into our internal lives. We assume peace, happiness, or spiritual liberation are distant prizes we have to earn through decades of arduous practice and rigid discipline. The mystic Osho pointed out a fatal flaw in this logic. To actively practice anything, even meditation, requires a doer. It requires an ego that says, "I am achieving this." And here lies the paradox. You cannot use the ego to destroy the ego. The harder you strive to be peaceful, the more tense you become. The exhausting effort to become enlightened is the exact mechanism preventing it. Many spiritual texts try to soften this blow. The famous Bhagavad Gita, for instance, accommodates the human ego. It offers a menu of gradual paths, devotion, action, knowledge, so that anyone can find a comfortable, long-term project for their spiritual ambitions. Then there is the Ashtavakra Gita, an obscure, ancient dialogue etched into palm leaves that offers 0 methods, 0 rituals, and absolutely 0 compromises. As Osho describes it, Ashtavakra's teaching is pure mathematics. There is no poetry to interpret, no comforting leeway. 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't care if that hurts your feelings. It only cares about the exact truth. According to this text, true liberation is not a goal to be achieved tomorrow through a path. It is a reality to be recognized today. To understand how blunt this philosophy is, look at the origin of Ashtavakra himself. According to the lore, he was a boy cursed before birth to have 8 profound physical deformities. His very name means 8 bends. At just 12 years old, this heavily disabled boy walked into the grand court of Emperor Janaka. The room was packed with the empire's most elite scholars. Seeing his crooked body hobble in, the entire assembly erupted into laughter. Ashtavakra laughed right back. When the emperor asked why, the boy replied that he was amused to find truth being debated by a council of cobblers. He told them, "You are experts only in evaluating the quality of leather, entirely blind to what sits beneath it." He delivered his core argument. A crooked temple does not bend the space inside it. A broken pot does not fracture the air it holds. Therefore, a deformed body cannot deform the formless soul. Emperor Janaka was stunned by the absolute clarity of this 12-year-old. He stepped down from his throne, bowed at the boy's feet, and asked him to reveal the actual secret to liberation. Ashtavakra's response laid the foundation. Recognizing the total separation of your true identity from the physical leather of the body is the absolute prerequisite for waking up. His specific instruction to the king is known as Sakshi Bhava, or witness consciousness. Think about the mechanics of your own life. You remember being a child. Because you can observe childhood as a phase that arrives and then vanishes, you logically cannot be childhood. You are the one who watched it happen. Youth and old age pass through in the exact same manner. Your physical form changes, your beliefs change, your emotions shift. But the internal observer, the one watching these phases come and go, remains a constant, unchanging fixed point. You are merely the eternal passenger, observing the stations of life pass by outside the window. To realize this, you don't need to do anything. You only have to step back and watch. Even when we grasp this intellectually, a doubt lingers. If it's this simple, why shouldn't it take years of practice to fully realize? To answer this, Osho tells the story of a beggar king. Imagine a lost prince who wanders into a foreign land and forgets his true identity. For 20 years, he lives in deep misery, wearing rags and begging on the streets just to survive. One day, his father's royal guards finally track him down. They pull him from the dirt and reveal the truth. He is, and always has been, the emperor. The beggar doesn't look at the guards and say, "Okay, give me 20 years to practice being an emperor." The moment he remembers who he is, the transformation is instant. The beggar's misery was entirely based on a false identity. Our ego is that same false identity. Realizing your true nature as the witness ends all spiritual striving and begging immediately. Ashtavakra uses a specific word for this, aduna. It means right now, liberation in this exact present fraction of a second. This immediate internal realization stands in stark contrast to the paths we usually admire. We praise figures who dedicate themselves to lifelong, exhausting external struggle, measuring worth by decades of relentless effort. But Ashtavakra asks us to drop the exhausting tension of becoming something better. When a lake is caught in a storm, the water is too chaotic to reflect the moon. When the wind stops and the water becomes perfectly still, the reflection appears effortlessly. You don't need to put in years of arduous labor to fix yourself. You are already the vast, infinite sky. You simply need to stop running, become still, and open your eyes.